G'day everyone, another day, another slight change to my audio setup on the helmet. Big day today. Big day today because it could well be the Thundercat's last commute. Oh, I'm saying that out loud and he don't like it. No, it's just cold. Yeah, I've potentially agreed a sale for him, and he may well be getting picked up tonight. I'm not entirely sure how it happened. Well, yeah, I do know how it happened. It was a guy that was, I mentioned it in my last upload, it was a guy that was selling a 125, was interested in Beast, in the Triumph 900. During conversations about he was doing, oh, I've just got to sell my bike before I potentially buy yours. I asked what it was, he said what it was, which was a 125. And then I've cleaned these brakes and they're still fucking squeaky. They're still, and he yeah, was saying he's selling 125. I said, look, are you sure that's a big step up from a 125 to that? A big step up. He then showed some interest in the 400 to a degree, but he wanted something at least 600. He needed it to be ULEZ compliant. I'm sat in the middle of some fucking lights here now. Yeah, he needed it to be ULEZ compliant. I said I do have an ULEZ compliant 600 and showed him a picture of this, and he went wow. And that's all she wrote, effectively. The money was right. So this could be the last commute on this bad boy, which means I'm going to have a little bit of fun on this amazing bike. Yeah, and I'm not quite sure how I think. Sorry, I was concentrating on the road then. I'm not quite sure how I think, because I have particularly built this to be my London commute mobile, and I'm potentially getting rid of it before it's had the opportunity to fulfil that purpose. I've still commuted on it, but I'm not working in central London yet. So yeah, it's a little bit of a strange one, and it's one of these ones that I think I'm probably going to regret it at some point, at several points. But saying that, I regret selling every bike that I've ever owned, and particularly any that I've ridden for a decent amount of time. But you know, you've got to change these things periodically, haven't you? Yeah, so it means that I'm going to be commuting on Beast, which is going to be an interesting experience. There's quite a lot of bike to commute on. The last time I commuted on a 900 was a diversion, and eventually I worked out it was too much bike for the commute that I've got. I'm probably going to end up doing something similar with Beast. I think I'm going to leave them on the market for now, and if I get interest and the timing's right and the price is right, etc., sell him on. The CB400 isn't getting a lot of attention at the moment, predominantly because it's non-ULEZ compliant. That is a massive factor in the burbs, because people either need to go into London or want to have the flexibility to go into London if need be. And certainly chatting with Andre yesterday, he came looking at the Triumph, you know, he's the perfect customer. He's not the perfect customer, he didn't buy a bike, but he's a perfect example of the customer in terms of that I don't need it ULEZ, but I really want it ULEZ. Oh, is it the back brake? It is the back brake. Alright, I'll clean that out when I get home. I think front's clean now. Anyway, yeah, so that's where we are. So this is probably the last hack I'll have on the Thundercat, which is a bit of a wrench because I spent a lot of time on this. Not a lot of money, but a lot of time on it, making it look the way I wanted to. But yeah, we shall see. So what next? I need to get hold of, I need to sort out insurance on the Triumph, so that's boring, but I need to get hold of the seller of the XVS, just to say, have you got the keys type thing, because I could well have the cash this evening, when the dude potentially comes up to pick up the Thundercat, which would be cool. Yeah, that front brake's nice and quiet now, it's just the back that's noisy. Frankly, it's not surprising, it was rainy yesterday, and this is a working bike, so it does get put away wet and then pulled out again the next day, and then dry off and polish my work bikes every day, despite the fact I probably should. I forgot I was in neutral then, that was very stupid. Right, so helmet wise I have flipped the mic upside down because I think the noise was coming, you can't no point me pointing, you can't see, as the wind's coming over the top of the microphone, so I've proofed it a little bit more at the top, and I've flipped the microphone upside down so the active end, if you like, points down to my chin. But we'll see, and it's probably this stretch because it's only really when I get a little bit of speed that it gets that crappy, and it might just be because I tend to also shout because weirdly enough the bike gets noisier, but we'll see. I hope it's better. Brilliant little bike this. I'm going to regret losing it, but hey, if it gets good use out of somebody and looks after them, then it's worthwhile. And I made a good few quid off it as well, because I bought it for pennies and improved it massively. I'm not ripping anyone off. It's always ridden fantastically, but yeah, it was a bit scratched and a bit battered. It isn't anymore. It is pretty much bang on. It's not a brand new bike, so there are bits and pieces on it, but it's got the USB port on it, there's also the battery meter, it's got crash bungs on it that it didn't have before, it's got indicators in the wing mirrors as well as on the flanks. It is built to be a commute machine with a bit of balls and a bit of fun. So the dude buying it is getting a excellent first big bike that's going to look after him as well and look after itself. And actually, as far as first big bike's concerned, anything that you can do to make yourself more visible and more safe is worthwhile doing. So having the the indicators on the back end of the wing mirrors, having crash bungs, having an, oh I forgot, it's got an LED light in it as well to make it brighter, make you more visible. You know, it's all worth doing. Anything that can make you more visible and make your intentions more obvious is worthwhile doing, in my humble opinion. If I was truly practicing what I preached, I'd be wearing high visibility kit as well, but yeah, I don't like looking a dick when I'm not on my bike. Looks like it could be another nice day in paradise. the front and rear cameras that are on this as well. I was tempted to take them off. Really tempted to take them off. They are just fundamentally clip-ons, clip-offs. I still am tempted. I have said I'd leave them on now, but whatever bike I end up owning and riding when I do start my my London commute will get front and rear cameras put on it. It's kind of going to be my thing now. I think it's a bloody good idea, and it's increasingly required. Read an interesting article actually on was it the transport minister? I don't know, something similar. Since the highway code rules have changed to protect vulnerable road users, i.e. cyclists, because motorcycles don't count as a vulnerable road user apparently. He was suggesting that every cyclist should wear a helmet camera for their own protection, so they can prosecute people that yada 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 yada. And despite the fact they're probably right, I think the rationale behind it is wrong, so they can prosecute people. Fuck off. If an individual wants to do it for their own protection, so that if anything happens to them they have evidence of what's happened to them, that's fine. But you've also got to remember, you don't control what your camera sees. Your camera sees roughly what you do. And particularly when it comes to cyclists, if you're being a prick, your camera will catch you being a prick. Yeah, it is an interesting one because you know, I film loads, and I also, you know, on occasion ride a little bit faster than I should, or sneak through a gap that potentially I shouldn't. But I'm quite happy to defend my actions as a meh, whatever, everyone does it. But if you're a cyclist and you're wearing a helmet, so that a camera, so that you can prosecute others, then my view is, if you do put that camera in because you captured somebody else doing something prosecutable, my view is you put the whole thing in. Put all of your footage in, so you capture when you're being a dick too. And then if the car driver does something that requires them to be, or that allows them to be prosecuted, well then so can you. If you jump red lights, if you hop onto curbs with pedestrians on them just so that you can hoik round a corner, you know, if you do all the fucking stupid things that wind up every other road user, then you're equally as prosecutable. Right, rant over. I'll do really an audio test to see whether or not this microphone flip works, but we'll see. Ta-da.
Okay, so it's a fair bit later the same day, and there is a big hole in my garage, the shape of a Thundercat, because he's gone. A really nice young lad that's bought in. It sounds patronising to say young lad, he's only 21. First big bike purchase, and it's perfect for that. And a Thundercat is a really good first, it's beefier end of the first big bike, but it's fast, but it's not stupid. It will scare you, but it won't terrify you. It's a good choice, and I'm really glad that I talked him away from that. And actually, when he saw it and felt the weight, and yeah, he was completely with me. So, yeah, Thundercat's gone. I'll probably regret it. I regret selling every bike, particularly a day bike. I still regret getting rid of Dave, my Diversion 900, and I probably always will. Probably will with the Cat as well. But it's gone to a better place. It has gone to a really good place. I need to get this jacked up so that I can insurance and all that sort of stuff. That's fine. I'm tempted to cut out the middleman and just insure myself on the CB400 on Sting. But this is just so much fun to ride, and there's been a few comments on the previous one about, you know, the Thundercat is the practical one, you know, that's the one I should keep, and then bikes aren't about practicality all the time, and this is just a fucking scream. So it's going to be my bike for a little while. I might even just whip it off the market complete, and then crack on. The XVS 650, spoken to the guy, he's come back, he's brought the paperwork back, which is brill. In the intervening period that he's been away and the bike's been off the road for a year, he's split up with his missus, which is tragic. Even more personally tragic for me is can't find the keys, and his missus has stashed them somewhere, either intentionally or accidentally. He could keep searching for them, that's fine, but what I've done is just knocked a quarter of the price off. That's fine, and I'll sort out either getting replacement keys for it, which I've not done before. Any tips would be gratefully received. I think it's down to the serial number of either the engine number or of the ignition itself. I'll see when I get it, or I'll just order a new ignition for it. But it is a bit of a pisser, frankly. I'd rather pay more money and have a bike with keys. But I do have all the paperwork, or wrong, he does have all the paperwork, etc. Hopefully, I can pick that up over the weekend, but we shall see. Right, that'll do me. One less bike, space in the garage. Must get something to fill it. Cheers all, I'll catch you later. Ta-da.